Hi, I'm Daniel from Solar Choice, Australia's leading independent quote comparison platform for solar, EV chargers, heat pumps and batteries. We're also consultants and run tenders for projects in apartment buildings like EV charging infrastructure. Today in this video, we're going to be looking at load management systems. And yes, this is another video in our series on EV charging in apartments. Now, load management systems can be pretty technical, but what we're going to do today is strip it down to the bare basics so you can understand whether you might need to consider load management in your building. Every apartment building is connected to the electricity grid, and the grid has a certain amount of power that it sends to your building for all the normal stuff like lights, air conditioning, cooking, whatever it is, you name it. If it's normal electricity use, it's using that set amount of power coming from the grid. And at any given moment, there's going to be a bit of leftover power. We call that spare capacity. And it's a really important part of the equation when we think about EV charging, because that spare capacity is going to be used for EV chargers. If there's a lot of spare capacity, hey, we can look at a lot of chargers or fast chargers. If there's only a little bit of spare capacity, we might have to look at slower chargers or fewer chargers. What a load management system will do is constantly monitor how much electricity is being used in the building, and it's always going to prioritize the apartment and common area use and deprioritize the EV charging. And you might be thinking, that sounds pretty inconvenient. I want my car to charge at full speed all the time, but you don't need to worry, because it's constantly changing the amount of power being sent to the EV chargers based on the current use in that given moment. So let's think about 6 p.m. Everyone's coming home from work, people are going to be plugging their cars in to charge. They're also going to be going and using the aircon, maybe using heating, cooking dinner, all the lights are on. So that sort of 6 to 8 p.m. is going to be a really high electricity use in the building. So the load management system is probably going to be sending a relatively small amount of electricity to the cars to make sure that everyone can cook and see themselves with the lights on in their apartments. But when everyone starts going to bed, turning appliances off, the load management system will then ramp up the amount of power being sent to the chargers, and by morning, of course, all the vehicles will be fully charged. So the best way to think of a load management system, it's like a security feature. It's going to be protecting the existing electrical infrastructure. It's going to be protecting the convenience of everyone having consistent power in their apartments for normal use. And it's also going to be there making sure the vehicles are as charged as they can be in a safe manner by the next morning. Now, load management systems do come with a cost. Sometimes they're hardware-based, sometimes software-based, but they're made by companies who are businesses and need to derive revenue from them. So there are often things like subscription models. Sometimes a subscription for the body corporate to pay, sometimes subscriptions for each individual EV driver to pay to use that load management system and be connected. In some circumstances, load management might not be needed in your apartment building. For example, if you've only got a couple of shared chargers in visitor parking bays and plenty of spare electrical capacity, you probably won't need load management. It would be an unnecessary cost. Or if you're in a building where only 1 or 2 people have EVs at the moment and no one else has any intention of purchasing one anytime soon, you might not need load management, but you might down the track. So it's really important to consider load management as part of the big picture, the future-proof plan, so that you have the right infrastructure going in from day one to be future-proofed for future EV uptake as more and more people start to buy electric vehicles over the next 5 years. If load management is sounding a little bit tricky and you're not sure if it's the right fit for your building, get in touch with us at Solar Choice. We're experts in strata, experts in EV charging, and we spend a lot of our time thinking about the best ways to solve problems for putting chargers into difficult apartment buildings. So give us a call, have a look at our website, and you'll find a lot of useful resources to help guide you along the way. If you found this useful, check out our feed. You'll see a whole lot of other videos looking at EV charging in apartments, as well as reviews of chargers, solar panels, and more. Thanks for watching.